right? But if I took this marker and a penny and I dropped them from the top of our school building, or even from the staircase, or from the Empire State Building, and I dropped them at the same time, which would hit the ground first?
They hit at the same time.
Who said both? And hit the same time, right? You guys said it? Why is that?
Because gravity is pushing down on all forces at negative 9.8 meters per second.
Good. It doesn't matter what the weight is of the object, right? They fall at the same pace, interestingly enough, right? And there's a lot of cool things in physics with the laws of motion and why things move the way they move and you know, what angle or whatever it might be. So you'll learn that stuff in physics. I don't know that much more than, you know, than that, but pretty interesting stuff, right? All right, so who hasn't gone yet? You guys had the same? No, okay. So you guys had, people were absent or whatever, and so you had just the person by yourself, okay? Bacon, okay.
Dylan Riley. Good job. That was spectacular. That was not very nice.
Oh my god, I got so red.
Oh my god. Don't put me and Megan
All right, listen
together.
up. Close them up and listen up.
Different.
Alright,
Pretty.
I had
There was a flower for a second.
Bacon, and he actually basically created empiricist natural philosophy, which is philosophy based on examples and senses. And he also created the system of sciences, which was how he explained how each science related to another.
He also came up with, and we'll take notes on this, if you guys, in science class, you guys do like, you guys have labs, right, you have a lab, and in that lab, sort of, what do you start out with? Somebody tell me, like, what do you do in a lab? Like, what's the first thing you do?
An observation.
An observation, right, and then what happens next?
Hypothesis.
Good, and then what's next after that?
Experiment.
Good, what's after that?
Conclusion.
Good, and what's that whole, like, sort of step, what do you call it? What's that? Who said it? Scientific method, right. And this is the person who came up with that idea, that scientific method, that we still use today in science class when we do our labs, right? You have to write those up, I know they're a pain, but do you guys still have to write them like in a notebook? Do you use like a, or you do it on the computer probably?
Yeah.
All right, so you stop, we'll write some more down.
Dylan,
All right,
wait. What? 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Actually, technically 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Who do you have?
Okay.
Yesterday.
Barbie, okay. There's no seat right there next to it? Right there.
Whose laptop is this?
Oh,
Megan.
whose laptop is that?
Megan.
Megan's.
Just move it on this side.
This is our class president. You have to be nice to him.
I had Andres Valasius, I don't know how to pronounce it. Salius. And he pretty much just proven a lot of the anatomy. Okay, and he pretty much just proven a lot of the anatomy that Galen came up with. And he's the first person to ever do properly map, I guess, like a lot of the bone structure and the muscles and tendons. And he also had some very creative books with some very creative pictures.
And those, so